Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your sources and really pull out those essential nuggets of knowledge. Today, we're plunging into a topic everyone talks about, but honestly, few truly grasp: confidence. You might have a certain image in your mind, yeah. But our sources are about to, well, flip that idea right on its head. It's actually fascinating. Our mission today really is to uncover what confidence actually is, why it holds such power, and crucially, how you can build it, like brick by brick, starting right now. Whether you're, say, learning a new skill, navigating a new professional challenge, or just aiming to feel a bit more at ease in your own skin, this deep dive is really crafted just for you. And here's one of the most striking things right up front from our sources. Confidence isn't some fixed personality trait you're either born with or not. It's truly a skill. And what that means for us is just immense. You can learn it, you can cultivate it, you can, embody it in your daily life.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it, how the sources immediately just dismantle that common idea.
Yeah.
They make it clear that genuine confidence isn't about being the loudest person or striving for perfection.
Yeah.
Not at all. Instead, it's this quiet, steady inner belief, a conviction, really, that you have the capability to handle whatever life throws at you. And that immediately shifts our perspective, right?
Yeah.
If it's a skill, then what are the kind of fundamental components we need to get our heads around?
Exactly. That's precisely the journey we're on today. We'll be breaking down related concepts, things like self-esteem, which is basically the opinion you hold of yourself.
Right? Your fundamental view.
Yeah, and authenticity, which is all about being real, embracing your unique self. The sources powerfully argue that confidence really blossoms when you let go of that pressure to be someone you're not. I mean, think about it. How empowering is that, especially for anyone who feels shy or maybe fears judgment, perhaps when you're learning a new language, for example? Confidence, then, isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's more about not being afraid of them. Okay, so let's dig in. All right. Let's kick off with a truth that might genuinely surprise you. Truly confident people aren't born that way. They're built.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Confidence isn't some fixed state you either possess or lack. It's something you actively develop, much like, strengthening a muscle.
And this point really challenges a pervasive assumption out there. Many people assume confidence means being totally fearless or always feeling in control. But our sources firmly state this just isn't true. Confident individuals, they still experience nervousness. Of course they do. The crucial difference is they choose to act anyway.
Right, acting despite the nerves.
Exactly. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's that conscious decision to move forward despite it. And this brings us to a core definition the sources really highlight: self-trust. That inner conviction that you can speak up or take action even when the outcome feels, uncertain.
So, okay, think about this. If you've been telling yourself that feeling nervous means you're not confident, our sources suggest that's actually incorrect. Nerves are natural. They're often just a signal that you genuinely care. It's kind of a reminder you're stepping into something important to you. The sources also offer this really powerful redefinition of vulnerability, seeing it not as weakness, but as a profound form of strength.
That's so important.
Yeah. Admitting, I don't know, or maybe I need help, that's an act of honesty that remarkably builds respect. It doesn't diminish it.
Which makes you wonder, though, where do these common misconceptions about confidence even come from? Why do we think it's about being fearless? The sources suggest, media portrayals, social influencers. They often present this polished image, not the gritty reality of actually building confidence.
The highlight reel.
Exactly. Yeah. They call out the confidence myth, this idea that some people just have it and I don't. And this myth is, frankly, dangerous because it often stops people from even trying in the first place. A really powerful insight here is that every confident person you see was once a beginner. They practiced. They actively worked on reshaping their self-image, that internal picture they held of themselves.
So instead of thinking, I'm just shy.
Yeah, they started thinking, okay, I'm learning, I'm developing this.
So the ultimate takeaway from this first part, confidence isn't some like mysterious magic. It's something you actively create through your actions. You don't have to feel confident to start. You just start. And the confidence often builds along the way. It follows the action.
It really does.
Now, here's where the sources introduce a concept that can truly shift your approach. It's really interesting. Many of us think, okay, I'll speak up when I feel more confident. Makes sense, right?
Seems logical.
But our sources reveal this powerful and often counterintuitive cycle they call the confidence loop. It goes action, evidence, belief, confidence, and then more action.
What's particularly insightful about this loop, I think, is how it emphasizes that confidence is forged through doing. It's not about passively waiting around.
Right, you can't wait for it to just arrive.
No. The sources introduce two crucial components here. Initiate, that's the courage to start something, even if you're feeling unsure, and then momentum, that forward movement that kind of builds over time. Even one tiny success can create this ripple effect, leading to bigger, maybe bolder steps later on.
It really makes you wonder then, why do so many people get stuck,
Yeah.
It's because they're waiting for absolute certainty. They think, okay, once I'm sure I won't fail, then I'll do it.
The guarantee.
Yeah, the guarantee. But life, as we all know, rarely offers that kind of guarantee. Confident people, the sources say, understand and accept risk. It's part of the process. Consider that common scenario, like English learners waiting for perfect grammar before they dare to speak.
Oh, definitely. A classic example.
The confidence loop directly challenges this. It urges action despite the imperfection. Just go for it.
And when we connect this to the bigger picture, this loop inherently builds resilience. That ability you have to bounce back after a challenge or even after what feels like a failure. The reality is, not everything's going to go smoothly, is it?
Not at all.
But resilient individuals, they learn from setbacks, they adjust their approach, and crucially, they keep moving forward. The sources offer this profoundly simple yet really impactful principle. You don't need to believe in yourself to begin. You need to begin to believe in yourself.
Wow. Say that again.
You don't need to believe in yourself to begin. You need to begin to believe in yourself. It's about the doing. Then the believing follows.
Okay, so the key takeaway here is just incredibly practical. Start small.
Tiny steps.
Take a tiny risk today. Don't wait to feel confident. Just take that first step. Let the action lead, and your belief in yourself, well, it'll naturally catch up.
It really will.
Have you ever noticed how truly confident people speak? There's something about it, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just what they say, but the incredible power of how they say it. This section of our deep dive really explores that potent connection between your language, your voice, and, your body.
A key insight from the sources here is just the sheer power of voice. It's fundamental. Confident speakers, they communicate with clear intention. They're mindful of their pace, their clarity, how they use pauses for effect. And the sources are really quick to emphasize. You don't need some kind of perfect native accent to sound sure. It's about the conviction in your delivery.
That's really freeing, actually. So let's break down maybe 3 crucial vocal areas they mentioned. First, pace. Speaking too quickly, we know, can signal nervousness, right? But speaking too slowly might sound unsure, hesitant. Confident speakers, they find this natural, measured rhythm, and they strategically use pauses to emphasize points or just let ideas land.
Give people time to absorb.
Exactly. Second, tone. This is the emotional quality of your voice. A confident tone is generally calm, steady, focused. It conveys this sense of command, of being centered. And third, clarity. This comes through good enunciation, saying each sound precisely.
Articulation.
Yeah, articulation. Clear enunciation makes listeners feel more confident in you and in your message.
And this naturally leads us right into body language. which the sources highlight as being equally vital, maybe even more so initially.
Before you even speak.
Right. Things like posture, standing tall, shoulders back gestures, using natural open hand movements and eye contact, making that direct, sustained gaze that builds trust. All of these communicate volumes before you utter a single word. And what's truly fascinating is this concept of embodied confidence. Basically, your brain is constantly taking cues from your body.
It's a two-way street.
It is.
Yeah.
If you deliberately stand in a confident posture, even when you don't feel confident, your brain actually begins to register that and starts to believe it. It's quite amazing.
Okay, let's try a quick silent experiment right now if you can. Wherever you are, sit or stand tall. Pull your shoulders back just slightly. Lift your chin a bit. Take a slow, deep breath. Now just imagine yourself saying, I can do this. Feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice even a tiny shift in how you felt? That's the power we're talking about. Our sources actually recommend practicing this, maybe in front of a mirror, using affirming phrases like, my ideas matter, or I am learning, I am growing.
It sounds simple, but it works.
Yeah.
Ultimately, confidence isn't just a mental state locked in your head. It's expressed and reinforced through your voice and through your body.
Uh-huh.
Adjusting even small physical cues, your pace, your posture, your tone, sends this powerful, clear message both to yourself and to others. I believe in me.
Right. It's broadcasting that belief. Okay, now let's talk about something almost everyone experiences. That voice in the back of your mind. The inner critic.
Ah, yes, the critic.
You know the one. It whispers, you're not good enough, or you'll definitely fail. Our sources suggest this voice isn't necessarily your enemy trying to sabotage you, but it's not exactly your unconditional friend either.
No.
It's often just trying to protect you in its own weird way by keeping you in your comfort zone, which often means keeping you small.
And a really powerful insight from the sources here is about learning to manage that inner critic by actively replacing the doubt it sows with clear direction. The sources define self-talk and criticism, and they emphasize that the inner critic rarely offers genuinely constructive feedback. It's usually just critical.
The negative noise option.
Yeah. True confidence blossoms when you start to question whether your self-talk is actually true or even helpful. So, for instance, if your inner voice is screaming, I'm terrible at English, you challenge it directly. Okay, wait, is that completely true? Haven't I understood much more than I did, say, a year ago?
That's a great reframe. So what does this practically mean for you, the listener? First step, catch the voice. Just become aware of what your inner critic is actually saying. Notice the patterns.
Awareness first.
Exactly. Second, question the voice. Ask yourself, honestly, would I ever say this to a friend I cared about? Probably not, right?
Usually not, no.
Third, reframe the thought. Consciously change your perspective on that negative thought. Instead of dwelling on, I'm so bad at speaking, you consciously shift to something like, okay, I'm learning. Every single time I speak, I get a little bit better.
That shift is crucial. And when we connect this to the bigger picture, a common trap, especially for people learning new skills like a language, is perfectionism.
Oh, yeah. The all or nothing trap.
Precisely. That false belief that you must do everything flawlessly or you might as well not bother at all. But our sources emphatically state that confidence isn't about achieving perfection. It's about making progress, that consistent forward movement over time. When your focus shifts to progress, you naturally become more forgiving of your own mistakes, and you're much more likely to celebrate the small incremental wins along the way.
Which are so important for motivation. But this raises a practical question. How do you tangibly track this progress? How do you collect the evidence?
Good question.
Our sources actually recommend creating a confidence file. Could be a simple notebook, could be a digital document, and in it you actively collect positive feedback you receive, compliments people give you, and just moments where you felt genuinely proud of yourself.
Building your case file.
Exactly. This tangible evidence becomes a really powerful tool to silence that nagging doubt. And for direction, the other side of the coin, having a clear purpose or even just a small, actionable plan leaves less mental space for fear to take root. Your focus shifts from what you fear might go wrong to where you actually going. Even if it's just practicing 5 sentences today or asking one single question in class.
The inner critic might never completely vanish, and that's okay. The goal isn't total eradication. It's just to stop it from controlling your actions and your feelings. The profound affirmation to maybe carry with you from this section is, I am not my doubts. I am what I do next.
I like that. I am what I do next.
Yeah.
Okay, so confidence isn't built in one grand, heroic moment. We get that now. It's cultivated through small, consistent daily actions.
Daily habits.
Yes, our sources present 7 simple yet incredibly powerful daily habits that gradually train your mind to believe in yourself.
And a truly insightful habit the sources highlight first is the power of starting your day with a win.
A win? What kind of win?
It doesn't have to be huge. This isn't about grand achievements first thing. It could be something as simple as making your bed, or drinking a glass of water before coffee, or maybe speaking just one English sentence aloud to yourself.
Okay, manageable.
Totally. These small, successful actions create this immediate sense of control and build positive momentum for the rest of your day. It sets a tone.
I see. Okay, habit number 2. Make it a habit to practice speaking out loud every single day, even if you're alone.
Even if it feels silly at first.
Yeah. Use a mirror, maybe record yourself on your phone. This simple act sends a powerful message to your brain. Speaking is safe. Speaking is normal for me. Third, keep a confidence journal each evening. Super simple. Note one thing you did well today, one thing you learned, and one small thing you'll try tomorrow.
Just a quick reflection.
Yeah, it builds awareness of your ongoing progress, which we just talked about being so important.
Fourth habit, intentionally use positive and empowering language in your self-talk. Actively replace I can't with, okay, I'm learning how to, or mistakes actually help me grow. This isn't just playing with words. It actively reshapes your self-identity over time.
Right, words have power. Fifth, commit to doing one courageous thing every day. And again, it can be tiny.
Doesn't have to be climbing Everest.
No, it could be asking a stranger for directions or offering a brief opinion in a low-stakes meeting. Each small act adds another brick to your confidence wall, building remarkable consistency.
Consistency is key.
Sixth, dedicate just maybe 2-3 minutes daily to visualize success. Close your eyes and see yourself calm, proud, focused in situations where you want to feel more confident. Your brain often believes what it vividly imagines, which kind of prepares you for the real-world scenarios.
It primes the pump.
Exactly. And seventh, finally, consciously surround yourself with positive input. That means choosing content, maybe online communities, or even spending time with people who genuinely support your growth and aspirations. Filter out the negativity where you can.
If we consider the broader impact of all this, confidence really emerges as a daily practice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not some personality type you're just born with or without. These consistent habits build this profound sense of self-belief that stems directly from your actions rather than relying on fickle moods or, just getting lucky.
Right. It's earned confidence. Okay, so being confident when you're alone, maybe practicing these habits, that's one thing. But maintaining that composure in front of others, that's where many of us genuinely struggle, right?
That's the real test for many, yeah.
Our sources are very honest about this. They admit you will feel nervous sometimes. That's human. But the true mark of confidence is what you choose to do next.
Exactly. It's not about eliminating nerves. And a key insight here is the concept of presence, being entirely focused on the current moment right here, right now.
Yeah.
So much of our nervousness stems from anticipation, our minds racing ahead, imagining all the things that might go wrong in the future.
What ifs?
The what ifs. The effective solution, the sources argue, is to deliberately shift your attention back to the present moment, to what is happening right now.
Okay, but what does that look like in practice? How do you do that when you're nervous?
Good question. First, they suggest shifting your focus away from yourself and onto the other person or people you're interacting with. Ask yourself, how can I genuinely connect with them right now? Listen actively.
Get out of your own head.
Precisely. Second, employ simple grounding techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Things like box breathing, breathing in for 4, holding for 4, out for 4, holding for 4, or even just subtly touching an object like a pen or your chair. These things help calm your physical nervous system.
Okay, physical anchors.
Third, prepare a few simple, versatile phrases in advance. Things like, that's an interesting point, or could you say more about that, or even just, can you repeat that, please? No. These become like tools for automatic confidence when your mind might otherwise go blank under pressure.
Like safety phrases.
Exactly. And this naturally leads us to that crucial question. What about making mistakes? In front of people.
Yeah, the horror.
Right. Our sources powerfully advocate for embracing imperfection publicly. Don't try to hide it. If you stumble over a word or make a small error, just smile briefly, correct yourself if needed, and try again. Saying something simple like, oops, let me rephrase that, or sorry, I'm still learning English, but here's what I mean. That isn't a sign of weakness at all. It's an act of remarkable power and authenticity. People connect with that.
They really do. It makes you human.
It builds recovery, that vital ability to return to a calm, centered state after a little wobble. And fourth, physically stand tall. Consciously claim your space. Even if you're feeling nervous inside, an assertive posture sends a clear signal to your brain and to others. I belong here. I have a right to be here.
Body language again. And finally, a really powerful piece of advice. After any kind of public moment, whether it went well or felt awkward, make a conscious effort to reflect. Don't regret.
Reflect, don't regret. I like that.
Yeah. Avoid that trap of endlessly overthinking or replaying mistakes in your head. Instead, consciously take a moment to reflect. What actually went well? What might I do differently next time? And what specific lesson did I learn from this experience?
Bringing this all back to the larger picture then, confidence in front of others seems to be fundamentally about connection, about maintaining presence, and about consistent practice. Your nervousness doesn't have to vanish completely. It just has to stop being the one dictating your actions. You're in charge, not the nerves.
Wow. We've just completed this incredible journey, really revealing what confidence truly is and how it's built. Step by step, right before our eyes. Our sources, again and again, consistently show us that confidence isn't some mysterious magic, is it?
Not at all.
Nor is it reserved for some chosen few lucky people. It's really about showing up. It's about taking small, consistent actions every single day. And it's about systematically building that unwavering trust in yourself.
And to connect this to the broader landscape, I think our sources powerfully highlight that confidence is absolutely a skill you can actively build. It's a dynamic loop that always begins with action. It's a practice you develop through those daily habits we discussed. It's a conscious choice you make, especially when faced with doubt. And it's an inner voice that you can intentionally grow louder than your fears. Which brings us to perhaps an important question for you, the listener, to ponder. Who is the truly confident version of you? Not some unattainable fantasy version, but the real you, maybe a bit steadier, more curious, consistently learning, and perpetually growing. Who is that person?
And the thing is, that version of you isn't some distant ideal you have to strive for years to reach. In many ways, it's already here.
It's emerging.
Yeah. It's practiced with every quiet word you decide to say, every time you choose to try something that feels a little scary. Let's just briefly recap a few really powerful principles to carry with you from this whole deep dive. 1, confidence comes after the action, not before it. So don't wait around to feel ready. Just take that first, maybe brave step.
Just begin.
2, your inner voice profoundly shapes your outer reality. So make an effort to be your own encouraging coach, not your biggest critic.
Be kind to yourself.
3, mistakes are not the enemy of confidence. They're actually proof that you are trying, that you're in the arena. Shame about mistakes, though, that can be the enemy.
That's a crucial difference.
4, consistency beats intensity every single time. Doing a little bit each day is far more impactful in the long run than trying to do a massive amount once in a blue moon.
Slow and steady.
And 5, this is a lovely one. Your own confidence genuinely helps others feel safe too. When you show up as your authentic self, flaws and all, you implicitly give other people permission to do the same.
Yeah.
And that is what it really means to empower others.
What's truly fascinating there, I think, is that by investing in building your own confidence, you genuinely create this positive ripple effect. You empower those around you. Your courage in showing up, it really does create space for others to be brave too.
So what does all of this mean for you right now as this deep dive comes to a close? You don't need to remember every single detail we covered today. That would be overwhelming.
Just the core ideas.
Yeah, you just need to remember this fundamental truth maybe. You're already on the path. Every single step you take from here, even a quiet, seemingly small one, is a powerful step toward that confident version of you. So start small. Stay consistent, speak kindly to yourself, and when doubt inevitably creeps in, because it will take the action anyway.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Exactly. That's how real, authentic confidence is built. Not in silence, not in waiting passively, but in motion, in action. So as we wrap up, maybe just take a moment to consider what's one small action, however tiny, that you'll commit to taking today to cultivate your own confidence. We truly encourage you to sit with that thought for just a moment. What will it be?